Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. This will be my last video before the new year. So, I want to take the liberty to wish you all a Merry Christmas and have a wonderful New Year. I could end it on that, but that would be too easy. And I don't like easy here. So, why don't we go over a couple of stories that I mentioned in the past that were on my old channel. I might have even mentioned them on this channel, but I can't remember because I can't be expected to remember 2 million things at once. I mean, I am only one man. Well, actually, no, I'm two people, but there we go. Anyway, I'm only one man, and I can't exactly remember everything. But what I can do is I can offer a bit of entertainment, because after all, every single day I put a video out, I risk almost certain humiliation just for your entertainment. You best be thankful. But I digress. I thought I'd share probably my two famous stories, which are the time that I had to walk around work and basically walk around Norwich with a fucking walking stick, and the other one, which was what I like to call the chip shop disaster, which, yeah, you can already imagine how that shit went. So let's start off with the walking stick, which my granddad had lent me, God rest his soul. Before I do that, there's actually something that's really been bothering me, which is this fucking tag. Where are you? Come on, get it. Son of a bitch, I can't fucking get this thing. That's the trouble when you buy shit from George. There we go. Anyway, the walking stick incident. So, this one basically happened when I ended up in one of my old homes. I was in my room, like I normally do, watching TV shows, because I'm a bit of a fan of anime, and during one of them I stood up and I was quite enjoying it, but I took 3 steps back and then all of a sudden my right knee's cartilage, well, actually no, it wasn't cartilage, sorry, that was what could have potentially happened. My right knee gave way, and I don't think I need to say that was fucking painful, because that should speak for itself. But my knee gave way. Initially, my mum and my sister, they didn't think that it was genuine. They didn't think that my injury was actually serious. So they were lambasting me and berating me because I made a fucking 6.2 earthquake in my room, because obviously, being a big guy, when I hit the floor, everyone in Norwich is going to fucking feel it. Let me tell you. But they did find out that it was actually serious. My granddad came along, God rest his soul, and he basically came along and gave me a walking stick after I went to the doctors. So I ended up using that thing, taught me how to use it, putting weight on to make sure that I don't do too much damage to my knee. And basically I spent the next, I think it was like 8 weeks, something like that, maybe 10, walking around the office and my home and all that shit with one of my granddad's walking sticks, which was quite something. I was getting called grandpa a lot, and, well, what I would try to do, just to lighten the mood a little bit, because obviously having that kind of shit to deal with is not exactly good for your mental well-being, is I decided to act like a bit of a showman, twirling the fucking stick around, throwing it up in the air, catching it, and all that shit. Unfortunately, it didn't get me any money because I didn't really ask for it, but it did provide a little bit of entertainment for the people around, and it sure kept me entertained. Of course, some of the work people actually saw that and were starting to question, was he actually wounded at all? But no, I was genuinely wounded. I was just trying to make light of the situation, because, as I said, you've got to laugh, otherwise you cry. And I've certainly done enough of that shit, let me tell you. So, that was basically the story of me walking around with a walking stick. And, yeah, quite something. This was at the same company, by the way, which I can actually talk about in about 6 months. That actually decided stroke number 1 before Christmas, that decided to give me money because of some of the things that they were doing that were a little bit below the belt as far as me personally is concerned. But we'll worry about that when we get to June, because that's when my NDA actually expires. Now, the other story is, as I said, the chip shop disaster, and it really was a fucking disaster, because only someone with weapons grade stupidity can actually do that shit, and I certainly classed with that. Obviously, I have genius and stupidity, but in this case, it was definitely stupidity that prevailed. So, me and my mum were taking one of our cats, Roxy, up to the vet. And up along the way, there's like one of those cut-throughs. And on the right side, I look and I see, oh, there's a chip shop over there. So, me and my mum thought, well, all right, well, we'll go there once we've dealt with Roxy. Being the absolute weapons grade genius that I was, I went past that, I went back through the cut through, went all the way back to Burnham Road, then I went all the way up to Reefham Road. And basically, I ended up going to the chip shop that was like a good 20, 30 fucking minutes away from where we were. It was about like a 10, 15 minute walk from where we were living at the time, but I just decided to go up there for whatever fucking reason. And there was a Casey's up there, and that thing was closed. But next to it was a Chinese store. So I basically rang my mum and said, the chip shop's closed. Yeah, she wasn't very happy with that. So I'd already explained to her that there was a chip shop after we went through the cut-through. So... So yeah, that kind of made things a bit awkward. Then there was the question of what did my mum want from the Chinese, and she said she wanted a sweet and sour chicken Hong Kong style, which I thought, well, easy enough, it's a nice simple one. But again, being the genius that I was at the time, I went to the Chinese, and then I went, can I have 2 lots of sweet chili chicken? So basically everything my mum went in one ear and out the other. So we get the meals, I come home, and then my mum just gives me the fucking death glare. Like, if looks could kill, I'm sorry, your boy would have been dead at about 25, 26 years old. But anyway, we went and basically got the plates and all that, and we were ready to dish out our Chinese onto the plates and try to enjoy the fucking meal. Now, my mum was the smart one, again, by not actually putting too much of the chili sauce all over the rice and chicken and all that crap. So, she ended up being able to enjoy that to some degree. Meanwhile, weapons grade genius over here decides he's going to completely smother his food with the chili stuff, and all that happened for the next 15, 20 minutes was just basically me taking one forkful and like, and I had to go through like 2 bottles of fucking orange to get that shit down. So, understandably, it was not a very fun experience, but my mum thought it was absolutely fucking hilarious. She said, and her exact words were, and I quote, "You know what? You may have fucked up, but it was worth it to watch you suffer." End quote. So, I can't exactly blame her, because not only did I not take my own advice, I didn't even listen to what she fucking said. So I completely screwed up. And it is something that has always plagued me. It is something that has always bothered me since, and I've never been able to live it down at all. It's just... only I could do something like that. I guess I have this... I guess a kind of equilibrium, in a sense, where sometimes I have like 400 IQ big brain moves, and then other times I have 0.4 IQ moves where I literally can't even listen to anything but stroke number 2, anything that my mother says. So it's just, I can laugh and see the funny side of it more than anything, but it's just, oh man, sometimes I do despair even for myself, quite frankly. Like, I cannot believe how stupid I can potentially be. It actually scares me, Because next thing you know, I'm going to be standing next to a barrel of TNT and I'm going to say, oh, this looks like fun. Fucking set it on fire and boom, there goes your entertainment for the rest of your lives. But jokes aside, those were my two main stories throughout my life that have basically both frustrated me and kept me going. I actually forgot I still have my my video game going. There's a little bit of sound coming from the headphones. It's actually called Balatro, and it's a nice little card game, very addictive, and I would recommend if anybody has Steam, they go check it out. Balatro is a very fun, simple game, very fucking addictive, where basically you make poker hands and try to get a certain chip score in order to proceed to the next round and beat small blinds, big blinds, and eventually bosses, and effectively build your way up to ante 8, and then beat the final blind, final boss, whatever you want to call it, and then start all over again. It's all a load of fun, and again, it keeps me away from the gambling, but it at least lets me have that, I guess, that sense of I'm playing something that could appease that to some degree, even though it doesn't require real money, and I don't think there's going to be anything that costs money, generally speaking. But yeah, that is all I've got for you. But here's to hoping that for New Year's, Keir the traitor Starmer will finally get exactly what he deserves, and that's a boot out of 10 Downing Street and the Houses of Treachery. I mean Parliament. Or maybe I was right first time. Because we need less people like Keir the traitor Starmer, and more people like Nick Tenconi, more people like Paul Thorpe, more people like Tommy Robertson, more people, to some degree, like Maya Toosey, where we can actually bond together and actually enjoy Christmas. Because, speaking of which, one political thing, before I head off, is apparently some traders are being told not to call this summer holiday Christmas because it might offend someone. I wonder, will we do the same with Ramadan? Or is that going to be allowed to go through because it's part of the usual suspects? I wonder. But last time I checked, this is a Judeo-Christian built country, and as such, we should be enjoying Christmas, enjoying the new year, and hopefully Sadiq terrorist sympathiser Khan won't be putting up more of his DEI bollocks in the fireworks display. But if he does, well, guess we'll be ready to call him out when the new year finally comes round.